Howdy folks, welcome to the brewery, brew day, and we're brewing today a Australian Summer Saison, classic beer style, known throughout the ages, very historical in its significance. Yeah, okay, righto. And the reason we're doing that is because of these fellas that I picked up a couple of weeks back at the on a trip to the museum in down there in Canberra, the National Museum. We're grabbing ourselves some lunch, and these were in the old impulse buy box on the way as we'll line up to get our food. And as little John's mind is always ticking over with something beer related, I looked at those and went, yep, beer, grab them. So here we are. I think these two are going to go really well in a nice light Saison. Will be nice, good and fresh for some summer slurping. So what we're doing, 50 litre nano pot, full volume brew in a bag. I've got 32 litres of water in the pot. It's sitting at the moment around 68 degrees, ready for mash in. I've just got the grain now. I've just got to mill the grain. It's all weighed out. I've treated the water with calcium sorbate and sodium meth to neutralise chlorine and chloramine, which shouldn't have been a problem anyway. I actually filled the kettle yesterday afternoon, so it sat for a good about 14 hours probably. So it should have leached off any oxygen, but we don't no mucking around, let's be sure. I've just added some minerals. I'm going a little bit calcium chloride heavy on this one, about 2.5 chloride to sulfate, just to give a nice soft palate on the beer, but enough hardness underneath, I'm hoping, to give it some edge as well. Exactly how that will turn out, who knows, but I'm pretty confident it's going to work all right. So grain that's going in here today is Valoria from Voyager Malt is our base. I haven't got my percentages here because I'm on the wrong page, but I'll link up the recipe down the bottom, so you can check it out yourself. Let's actually bring it up. Let's call it 70% of the Valoria, about 12% of flaked wheat, Gladfield's flaked wheat, and 12% of Voyager winter wheat, straight wheat malt, and about 7% rye malt. It's a pale rye from Gladfield, which is significantly lighter in colour than, say, a Wyman's. I've got Wyman's here, which is I think about a 25 EBC. The Gladfield's say 9.4, and you can visibly see the difference when you look at it. So I've gone for the lighter one because I'm trying to keep the colour down a little bit. I don't want to get them too dark. I want to keep it nice and summery and light and bright. That's the aim. I had considered on that vein going for a lighter grain on the base. The Valoria is a pretty dark base malt. Almost realistically it's pushing up around almost to a Vienna. But I've not used it. I've got the Atlas and the Schooner and the Valoria sitting here all from Voyager, and I haven't really used the Valoria yet, and I wanted to, so this is where we're going to go. So I made sure the rest of the stuff is really pulling it down. Even the flake wheat from Gladfields is, you know, a lot lighter than some other flake wheats that are available. So everything has worked towards keeping that down. I'm going to mash in just a second. First of all, I'm going to mill the grain, then we'll go and mash in. I'll have a chat about mash temperatures while I'm doing that. Righto. Grain is done, water's come back, the temperature dropped off a little bit. I want it at 65. I want to mash at 65. It dropped to about 66. She's now back to 68. Should work nicely. Put the bag in. So a little fun with the milling of the grain. The drill started, went all right for about bloody, I don't know, 5 or 6 seconds, and then it didn't want to bloody turn the bloody mill. And I thought, maybe it was the rye. So I fucked around and pulled the grain back out of the mill and widened the gap on the mill, went back in. Didn't help. So after a little bit of swearing and carrying on, I realised that I had the fucking drill on the wrong setting. So it was my own bloody stupid fault. It was just stopping up on the clutch when it got a bit of resistance, because I had it bloody set to screwing instead of drilling. So when I fixed that, we're all good. So while I was going, I thought, fuck it, let's double mill it. So I ran it through it on the wider setting, and then ran it through a bit finer. Actually I'm just on the normal settings. So the reality is it should not be any different than normal. So no rice hulls, again, because we're doing the full volume brew in the bag. I'm not worried about recirculation. I have got the bits and pieces. Well, I bought some new pieces to get the recirculation going, and we'll see. I've got a few other things I want to fiddle around with. So if I get time, I may have a look at getting the recirc going on this before the end of this mash. But I don't think I will. I think that might be enough a day. I know on the last brew day I did say I was hoping to have it done for today. But I don't actually have the bits here that I thought I did. That will make more sense when I actually do get to showing what I'm on about. Anyway, for now, 65 degrees for 40 minutes. So I'll let it sit. I'll come back after about 20, give it a stir. We'll come back at 40 and we'll see how we're travelling. Righto, 40 minutes in. We are going to raise temp now to 72 degrees. Before I mix that too much. Let's just grab a bit of a repack and see how we're travelling. Cool. I didn't clean that too well last time. About 10:24, looking for 10:31 pre-boil, so that's coming along all right. I think a lot of people will tell you at 40 minutes in the mash you've got all your conversion done. Don't believe them. You're surprised just how much conversion happens in that 40 to 100-minute mark. Can make a huge difference. I possibly could leave this a little bit longer to get more conversion, but we'll run with it and see where we end up at. So 72 degrees, 30 minutes including ramp temperature. Come back and have a look then. Okay, we've had just a wee little bit of a feck up. I got distracted. Yeah, fuck, how often does that happen? Well, this was coming up to temp, and she ended up getting up to about 80 degrees. You can see from the steam coming off, she's still fairly warm. So, effectively right now I'm already at the final mash out step, 78 degrees. So, yeah. But, as I was saying about the gravity and letting things run, I've just done a quick check with old refrac, 1030. So, blow me down, we aren't on fucking target for gravity, despite fucking up the temperature. So, we'll leave it be. I'm going to give it another 20 minutes here, then we'll pull the bag and we'll see how we go. Right, I'm going to call that mash done for an extra 20 minutes. So we've now done a total of 90-minute mash. I said we've been at... So in the end we end up 65 degrees, 65 degrees for 40 minutes, and then high 70s for another 50 in the end. At the moment we're sitting at 70, still sitting at 78. On a standard wort this would probably be an issue because we would have no fermentability. Or, mind you, we've done most conversion at the 65 anyway, so it wouldn't have been an issue. I'm going to call that 1031, which is exactly what we're looking for. So, happy days there. We can get this bag out, come to a boil. Okay, so no rinsing of this bag on this brew. Going to get a bit of crud out of it. Just let it sit while we come towards the boil. The recipe was telling me 31 litres was pre-boil volume. Sitting on about probably 29.5 there, but we'll adjust that down the track if we need to. So, element on. Boil's coming. We're going to have a chat about hops. Righto, we've hit the boil. We're just coming up on 20 minutes and our first hop addition. Well, 40 minutes technically, 20 minutes into the boil. Let's get our numbers right. Anyway, so hopping. We're hopping with Solero. This is a fairly new hop. I've got it just last week, courtesy of Kev Bristol at the hopping mechanism. He's sent me some of these along with a few other new hops. And looking at the description on these, they're talking tropical fruits, mango, pineapple. So sounds like an Aussie Summer to me. So sounded like a good hop. I've got to try it out. So let's go here. So what we're doing is a 40-minute addition, which is 12 grams of Solero. And I've got the wrong, haven't got the right recipe up to get the actual IBUs. Yes, I do, sorry. So first addition, 40 minutes is 12 grams, which is going to get me 15 IBUs. 12, yeah. Let's make it 12. Yep, beautiful. Righto. Then there'll be another 8 grams at 20 minutes for another 7 IBU. And then another 15 grams with 5 minutes to go for 4 IBU. So a total of 26 IBU all up. No whirlpool, no dry hop, no post boils at all. So a little bit old school and traditional as far as that goes. So like I said, we've just come up in 20 minutes, so I'll get the get this first lot in. And then we'll have a look once she's finished to boil and cooled, and have a look at our final numbers, what she looks like, and we'll talk about some yeast. Righto, 20-minute addition of hops have gone in, whirlpool, wall and yeast nutrient have gone in. 15 minutes to go, which means I'm only a couple of minutes off the important part of the brew. These fellas, which I've managed to forget about pretty much, except for when we very first started chatting. Saltbush and lemon myrtle. So there's 20 grams each of these, and I'm going to put these in with 10 minutes to go on the boil. Now the Saltbush that adds a nice salt note and a little bit of earthy, bit of an earthy flavour. So I think that sounds good to me. Earthy and salty, along with a little bit of tropical. Like I said, it's all bloody, it's all the sunburnt country. It's all bloody great. Okay. Smells. Yeah, doesn't smell salty or earthy anyway. Oh, we lost a whack of it there. Okay, so that's going to be interesting. It's fairly fine, so we might get a bit of a bit of sludge in the old pot, but that's okay. We may lose a little bit of volume overall. There's some crud, but we will see. And this is the lemon myrtle. Now, I've never used lemon myrtle before for anything, ever. And it does have that herbal, lemony sort of a nose. So the flavour is similar to lemons, but lacks the acidity. They're recommending adding all sorts of stuff. But anyway, it's certainly something that's used fairly commonly. So I've got no problem using it. I'm pretty confident we're going to get a good result. Like I said, in this style, the salt and the lemons is going to work really nicely. And if it adds a little bit of that Aussie, Australian bush sort of feel and vibe, then well and bloody good. If I can get this thing to sort of just type. This is one of them bloody Woolies veggie bags. Which I've used a couple of times now for hops. Go alright. So there's our 10 minutes. So I'm going to go and shove this in. Then looking to get the chiller in and get some cooling happening. We've cooled, we've transferred to the fermenters. We've got 20 litres, a bit less than I was aiming for. But it's all good. This be our sample. Got quite a bit of a little bit of a bite to it, a little hot bite. Touch of light lemon and a little bit of the salt. Not real strong, but I imagine that will become more prominent when the sweetness of the malt is fermented out. So I was looking for target gravity of 1036, and it says 1034, but that's still about 30 degrees, so it makes it 1035. Actually no, sorry, I think 1035 was target. Bloody computer turned off on me. Let's just double check. It was 1035. Yeah, 1035 was target. We were looking for 23 into the fermenter. I think I've bloody picked an old setting here anyway. We've got 20 into the fermenter. Let's call it 20 into the fermenter. Brew house was pretty crap. Okay, that's all good. I'm not too worried about the efficiency. I've got the target I was after, so that's all good. A little bit less volume, but will still give me enough to fill 2 9-litre kegs, and that's where we're going with this. 1/2 Loud Brew Bell Saison, which I'm going to ferment at initially 25 degrees. I think it was 25. Yep, 25 for a week, and then the plans to go 18 for 2 days, 12 for 2 days. So start bringing it down while still allowing it to keep fermenting, to let it finish, and then the 3-day cold crash. Plan is that will finish around 1005. Could go a little bit lower. That'll get us about 3.9% ABV, which is, I think, quite nice for a smashable, summer quaffer, as they say. And the other half is using Funk Weapon number 1, which is from Bootleg Biology. This is a Brett mix and wild yeast. So this will give us some funky barnyard flavours, and down the track we'll get some nice, funky whatnot going on. Will take a while, so this will go into long-term keg storage, same as the Jester King Funky that's currently getting along, and will be long-term tasting on that one. Same sort of plan. I'll look to get a couple of bottles off after a couple of months and see how it goes, and then let the rest sit for hopefully sort of 12 months and taste it. So that'll be next year for the big component of that, but the main one is going to be the Saison, because that's going to be on keg for summer. Certainly got good start, good jump on getting the keg fridge ready for summer. So looking good. So I'll get them on and be back in a month's time, do a taster and see how she's progressing. But anyway, Patreons, thank you for your support as always. There's a link down the bottom for Patreon. Check it out if you're interested in what it is. There's bonuses, and it helps the channel out, keeps me able to do experiments and stuff like buying wild herbs and throwing them in a beer. If you aren't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you are, good job. Questions and comments, stick them down the bottom. There might be plenty. Have you used the lemon myrtle, the saltbush, other native plants and stuff in your brews? How do they go? How do you go about it? Tell us down below. But other than that, that's me, done for the day. Brew day, Aussie Summer Saison underway. So till I see you again, I know we'd be brewing beer, drinking beer, talking beer. Good brewing.